The psychology of the problem dump. When a woman begins to offload the weight of her world onto your shoulders, you need to stop viewing it as a simple conversation. In the world of high stakes social dynamics, vulnerability is rarely a random act. It is a strategic tool used to gauge a man's value and his limits. Whether she is detailing a fallout with her parents, a crisis at work, or deep seated personal struggles, there is almost always an underlying motive that goes far beyond just needing to talk. You might think you're just being a good guy or a supportive listener, but in reality, you are being audited. She is throwing her chaos at you to see how you handle it, how much of it you'll tolerate, and whether you have the resources, emotional, financial, or social, to fix it for her. This process is a subtle form of psychological testing designed to map out your boundaries. If you find yourself in this position, especially with a woman you aren't even dating or someone you've barely shown interest in, you must realize that you are being positioned. By presenting herself as a damsel in distress, she creates an immediate vacuum that she expects you to fill. She is looking to see if you are the type of man who loses his emotional frame the moment a woman cries, or if you are the type who immediately starts opening your wallet or your contact list to solve a problem that isn't yours. It is a calculated move to see if you are a provider she can lean on or a leader she can rely on, often without her having to offer anything of substance in return. Furthermore, this problem dumping is a way to measure your status and your emotional discipline. A man who is easily swayed by every story of hardship is a man who can be easily manipulated. By dragging you into her personal drama, she effectively tests your sovereignty, your ability to remain detached and objective while others are in a state of panic. If you jump in too quickly to save her, you've signaled that your time and energy are cheap. You've shown that she can gain access to your most valuable assets, your attention and your protection, simply by sharing a few tears or a stressful story. Understanding this psychological play is the only way to avoid falling into the trap of becoming an unpaid therapist or a safety net for someone who hasn't earned that place in your life. The strategy of expectation. The most frequent reason a woman begins to dump her burdens on you is that she has a very specific, calculated outcome in mind. This isn't a random venting session. It is a Trojan horse maneuver designed to bypass your natural defenses and wedge her presence deep into the fabric of your daily life. By strategically sharing confidential secrets or heavy emotional baggage, she creates a shortcut to intimacy. In a normal progression, trust and closeness are built over months. But by offloading her deepest problems onto you, she forces a sense of bonding that makes her feel like your best friend or a permanent confidant almost overnight. She is banking on the fact that once you know her secrets, you will feel a psychological obligation to protect her and look out for her interests. If you are a man who prides himself on being calm, empathetic, or kind hearted, you are the primary target for this tactic. She recognizes your natural urge to console, provide, or fix things, and she uses her vulnerability as the hook to keep you engaged. This is how she creeps into your personal space without you ever realizing there was a shift in the dynamic. It starts with a phone call about a crisis, moves to her spending more time at your place because she needs the support, and eventually she is doing your laundry, running your errands, and making herself a fixture in your routine. Before you know it, she has integrated herself into your life under the guise of being a helpful, supportive partner, when in reality, she used her problems as a roadmap to claim a territory she hadn't actually earned. The pursuit of power and influence. Beyond emotional integration, there is the undeniable draw of timber and caliber. Women are instinctively attracted to men who possess authority, financial strength, and social influence, men who can actually move the needle in the real world. When a woman identifies you as a man of status, her problems become a tool for access. She isn't necessarily looking for a romantic connection. She is looking for a key to the doors you can open. If she knows that a single phone call from you can resolve a legal issue or that a quick bank transfer can settle her mounting debts, she will present those struggles to you as a test. She wants to see if you will use your heavy lifting capabilities to lighten her load. This is a transactional play disguised as vulnerability. The logic is simple. She believes that by rubbing your back with her attention and her displays of weakness, you will be compelled to rub hers by utilizing your hard earned status to solve her life's complications. For an influential man, being a provider or a solver is often tied to his ego and his sense of masculine power. She knows this. She presents her problem as an invitation for you to demonstrate just how powerful you really are. You feel like a king for being able to help, while she gains the benefits of your success without having to build it herself. In this scenario, her problems are merely the currency she uses to buy a seat at your table and gain the protection of your shadow. The test of intelligence and vision. Sometimes a woman's decision to offload her problems onto you isn't about your money or your social status. It is a direct result of your superior ability to lead and navigate complex situations. She recognizes that you have the capacity to think out of the box in ways she cannot, and she begins to trust your vision more than she trusts her own judgment. If you have established yourself as a sensible, highly intelligent, and trustworthy man, she will start treating you like a personal strategist. She brings her chaos to your feet because she wants to see how you dissect it. She isn't looking for a shoulder to cry on or a simple, I'm sorry you're going through that. Instead, she is looking for a consultant, a high level problem solver who can provide the logic and clarity she lacks. In this dynamic, she values your brain far more than your heart. She is essentially outsourcing her decision making process to you, using your intellectual energy to navigate her own life while offering very little in return. To her, the payment for your consulting services is simply the privilege of her presence and the fact that she has chosen you as her confidant. You might feel a sense of pride because she values your opinion, but you must be careful. By constantly solving her problems, you are essentially providing free leadership. She gets to skip the hard work of thinking through her own life because she knows she can just bring the mess to you and you will fish out a solution. This is a subtle drain on your mental energy, where she uses your intelligence to keep her life on track while you receive nothing but the burden of her next crisis. The love hook. In other scenarios, the constant sharing of problems is a calculated maneuver known as the love hook. While there may be a baseline of genuine interest, the vulnerability she displays is actually a high level tactic used to secure a long term commitment. She is essentially putting you through an audition for a permanent role in her life. By turning you into her primary confidant and showing you her struggles, she is testing to see if you are truly husband material. She wants to know if you are the type of man who will step up, protect her, and provide a safety net when things go wrong. She is measuring your response to her chaos to determine if you have the stability to lead a household and carry the weight of a family. This is a strategic play for security. She wants to be Mrs. Somebody, and she is using her personal drama to see if you are the man who will take ultimate responsibility for her world. When she tells you about her rent issues, her car troubles, or her difficult boss, she is watching your reaction. Do you offer a solution? Do you take charge? Do you offer emotional and physical protection? If you do, you are passing her test, but you are also setting a precedent that you will be the one to carry all the burdens in the relationship. The love hook is designed to make you feel like her hero, but it's also a way to see if she can successfully transfer her responsibilities onto your shoulders. She is using her vulnerability to build a bridge toward marriage. ensuring that once the I do is said, she has a man who is already trained to handle every problem she encounters. The final takeaway: guarding your peace. The ultimate lesson here is simple. You must never take a woman's venting at face value. When a lady starts dumping her problems on you, your first instinct might be to listen and sympathize, but you need to engage your analytical mind before your emotions take over. You have to stop and observe the situation with total clarity. Ask yourself the hard questions. Is she truly lacking a support system, or is she strategically trying to bypass your boundaries to see what she can get away with? Is she genuinely seeking your wisdom and advice to improve her life? Or is she just eyeing your resources, your time, and your energy? You cannot afford to let the damsel in distress act cloud your judgment or soften your stance. While it's natural to want to help, you must realize that some people use their own chaos as a tool for control, dragging you into their storms so that you're too busy fixing their life to focus on your own. To navigate these waters, you must think out of the box and stay incredibly sharp. Recognize that your peace of mind is your most valuable asset, and it is not a dumping ground for someone else's unresolved drama. When a woman brings her problems to you, she is essentially offering you a contract, one where you provide the solutions, the stability, and the support, often while she provides nothing but the next crisis. You have to be the gatekeeper of your own life. If you notice a pattern where she is constantly in trouble but never taking steps to change, you aren't being a hero by helping. You're being an enabler. Stay direct, stay grounded, and never let someone else's lack of order become your emergency. By maintaining your emotional distance and keeping your eyes wide open, you ensure that you remain the leader of your own journey rather than a supporting character in someone else's never ending tragedy.